What's up guys, it's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be doing the match preview for Levante versus Barcelona in La Liga. It is the second game of the season in competitive action. We're currently top of the league, which of course is great whether you want to count tied on points or not, whatever. But the second game, newly promoted side as well. It's going to be an interesting affair. Yet again, Barcelona showing their dominance in the previous game and hopefully can do it in this match to come tomorrow. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below and let's try and get to 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. Also, if you are new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off by taking a look at our opponents in Levante. Like I mentioned, they are one of the three newly promoted sides in La Liga this past season. I think they missed out on the previous two promotions. They played us the last time at the end of Xavi's first half of the season after taking over from Kounde. Those games were tight. Of course, remember that Luke de Jong last second header to help us get into a Champions League position. But they're back, and of course, they did play their first match in La Liga. They did lose 2-1 to Alaves. You can see they're set up there on the right hand side. It is a 5-4-1. They're already just trying to do their best to stay in this league again, and based on the personnel, nobody of recognizable name, which could be a question mark as well. Of course, when you get promoted to a new league, you want to bring in some experience, some veterans. They've done none of that so far. They of course have their main guy up front, the one that terrorizes Barcelona a lot in Juan Luis Morales over the past 7 to 8 years, with him being at Levante. Absolutely cooked us. When he went to Villarreal, was quite quiet, was never really a threat, but he's now back at Levante, back at his boyhood club after they got the promotion. He of course helped them a little bit last season as well, and by this lineup, it's quite clear that his role is going to be that veteran off the bench, so he will be a threat, I think, definitely coming into this game with 10 minutes to go, depending on how the game has gone so far. But they did score in this game, which you of course can't take away from them. Getting on the scoreboard in your first game back in the league is very, very important, and we know that Alaves is those teams, that kind of team that will be competing in that lower half of the table, fighting for relegation, and they got a big win. From their eyes, they're looking at this game being a newly promoted team that's going to be a competition with us to stay in this league. Getting a 2-1 win over them, especially with head-to-head being a huge thing in La Liga, is a big bonus for them. But again, you can see there from the ratings on SofaScore some stinky performances from the Levante players, and they just look like a meaty team, if we're being honest. I think they didn't really make any of those veteran signings, no signings of recognizable name after being promoted. They are struggling to register their own players. I think they had only like 3 players registered 24 hours before this Alaves game, or 48 hours, something like that. So the whole league is struggling, not just Barcelona, and you can all of course thank that to Mr. Tebas himself. But Levante, not that great on paper, haven't started off well either. They look like a team that Barcelona should walk through. It is at their stadium as well. It's an away games that may have a bit of implications. It'll be their first home game back in La Liga against Barcelona. The stadium will be rocking. We cannot let them feed into that, but that's a positive on their end. They can feed off that energy and put in a decent performance. But it won't be easy. On paper, it looks very easy, but there are some stipulations that will help them in this game tomorrow, as opposed to this game against Alaves. Now, heading into this match, there are still a few important first team members that are still not registered yet for Barcelona to play in Spanish football action. Those notable ones are, of course, Wojciech Szczesny, new signing Roni Bargi, and Gerard Martin. Of course, other players that will most likely leave are not also registered either. Some of them are, but it's all different. Anyways, we have an update from Luis Rojo of Marca saying the departures of Oye Romeo and Iñaki Peña would allow Barcelona to register Szczesny. Romeo will enter contract termination talks with 1 year left on his deal, requiring compromise with part of his salary waived and the club paying the rest. Iñaki Peña will first renew his contract and then go out on loan, reducing the wage bill, which along with Romeo's exit enables Szczesny's registration against Levante. Barcelona is still waiting for La Liga to validate the VIP boxes at the Spotify Camp Nou. If approved, Barcelona will return to the one rule spending rule, easing future registration. However, delays already forced them to use the guarantees for Marcus Rashford. Once Szczesny is registered, Barcelona will then prioritize Gerard Martin, who will be included as a first team member due to his age. He missed a Mallorca match because he was not registered. Afterwards, the case of Rooney, Bargi, Bernal, Hector Ford will also be addressed, though they could be enrolled with Barca Athletic. So the top three are Szczesny, Bargi, and Martin. Bargi, apparently Barcelona were gonna make him a Barca Athletic player, then use him, but they didn't want to upset La Liga. I mean, this whole fucking shit, man, is fucking corrupt. Because you have Madrid spending 60 million on Mastu, whatever the fuck his name is, the Argentina guy. They register him with their Castilla team, no problem. But we want to register Rooney Bargi. We're kind of scared that we might upset La Liga. I mean, this fucking corruption is absolutely crazy. But John Martinez is of course over the age of 23. He cannot be registered with the B team. That makes sense. He's gonna be getting a first team number, which it is what it is. Game is game, but I just don't like it. Just don't like it. Of course, Szczesny should be registered. I think, Hector Ford, Bernal will definitely be registered with the B team. We're looking, of course, at a Hector Ford exit. Very, very likely as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But hopefully going into this game, we'll have either Szczesny, Gerard Martin, or Rooney Bargi registered. Maybe two of them, maybe all three, but definitely at least one of them. Let's now discuss some of the injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. The one update that we do have is on Lewandowski. Of course, got injured a couple days before the Joan Gamper. We were told at the time he probably won't come back until September international break. He could come back maybe a game before, but the club are focusing, and Lewandowski himself 1000% fit after international break. But there has been a miracle. He has recovered already within 2 weeks. Having from AS came out saying that Lewandowski will be ready this Saturday against Levante. His recovery has been more positive than initially expected by the medical staff. He is expected to rejoin the group training session at the start of this week to be cleared to play on Friday. I think he took part in training, part of training yesterday, trained fully today as well. So he will be in the squad list most likely, probably, may or may not, won't start. We'll talk about that when we get to the lineup predictions. But having Lewandowski back is huge. Most likely he'll probably start the next game, which is I think Rayo Vallecano, if I'm not mistaken. So the fact that we have him back for those last 3 La Liga games before the international break, absolutely massive. Get his foot in the game, get his movement going, score some goals. That's what we need. We saw Ferran Torres and Rashford being makeshift strikers over the past few games. I wouldn't say they've all flopped, but it's not a Robert Lewandowski. It's not a pure number 9, the one that smells the goal, makes the excellent movement in the box. Those are like that. So having Lewandowski back is going to be huge, and we'll wait and see whether he's going to be fit to start this game tomorrow or looking to start against Vallecano next weekend. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start for the manager, of course, Hansi Flick. I'm going to try my best to predict his lineup. I think it will be very, 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 very easy to predict. I think he will pick the exact same team that he selected for the first match against Mallorca, with Joao Garcia in goal, a back four of Eric Garcia, Ronald Araujo, Pau Cubarsí, and Alejandro Balde, midfield 3 of Frankie de Jong, Pedri, and Fermin Lopez, front 3 of Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres, and Raphinha. I know that Frankie missed one training session due to the birth of his second child, but I don't think that'll have too many implications in him starting the game. I think the only real question mark is probably at right back and in the 10. We could maybe see Dani Olmo come in. Fermin did not play the Greece against Mallorca, but then again, Olmo is still coming back from injury. Don't want to rush him back. At right back, we could see Kounde come back in, or if Eric Garcia does start, I think he's going to be now the undisputed starting right back for the foreseeable future, unless things do change. Maybe I think more so the big question is at right back, more so than the 10. But those two positions are the only two actually changing. I think everything else is absolutely bang on, 9 out of 11, easy money. We'll wait and see what he does at right back and 10. We could maybe see Gavi in the 10 as well. Maybe he'll put Pedri there and then drop Casado deeper. There could be other implications if he does not want to start for mid, but also does not want to start Dani Olmo due to him not being fully fit per se. He did play 45 minutes against Mallorca, so they both played even amount of minutes, but we know with Olmo made out of broken glass, we need to be a little bit extra cautious with him. So wait and see how things do turn out, but this will be the line that I think the Hansi Flick will select for this match. And of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think Flick will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was the Barcelona coach, and I have in fact made a little bit of tweaks from Flick's lineup selection, and it was of course in the 2 positions that I mentioned. I personally myself would go with Kounde at right back. I've also shifted Eric Garcia in the middle. Reason being is that Araujo ain't really moving me that much, so I think this is the good time to test things out with other positions. I was thinking even to put Kounde at center back and then Eric Garcia right back, but I think that Eric Garcia has played more center back in the past 2 years than Kounde. Kounde might need a bit more time to adapt to it, so that's why I kept it like that. And in the 10, I've gone with Gavi. Like I've been mentioning a lot on the channel, I think that Gavi had a fantastic preseason. I think Olmo isn't too fit to start. I don't think Fermin Lopez played that well, so I would personally go with Gavi. I think against a team with a low block, you'll need that energy, you need that tenacity as well. I was thinking maybe even you could switch Pedri and Gavi and have Pedri be in the 10, but I think that Fermin Lopez in tight spaces against a low block is difficult for him to break down. Of course, if Olmo was fit, I would definitely go for him. But with Fermin not playing well in the last game, and I don't think suitable for this game in terms of facing a low block, I have gone with Gavi in the 10. I think this is a very, very strong team. Again, you can put Araujo at center back, and you can have either one of Eric or Kounde at right back. But my personal hot take and my personal, big move for this game is to put Gavi as a starter. But this is the lineup that I was like for this match, and of course, in the comments down below, let me know if you rather pick my lineup or Flick's lineup. Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? You can see on the screen, I have gone with 4-0. Look, I have high expectations for this team. We of course beat, I think, a very, very good team in Mallorca 3-0. Yes, they had 2 red cards. We're facing one of the newly promoted team. It is away from home, I understand that. I think personally, if I was to put money, I would say like 2-0 kind of game. I think it will be a little bit tight. I think it will probably take some time to score our opening goal, maybe into the beginning of the second half. But this is a game where I expect some floodgates. Like I expect Barcelona to come to this game and go through it. I think we will keep a clean sheet. I'm very, very positive about that. But I think that this could be a 2, maybe even a 1-0 scoreline, just due to them going to be sitting back and us having to break them down. But that of course suits our style, our high line, everything like that. So I'm not too worried. I think 100% Barcelona win this game. I think a draw, I put it like at 0.5%. I think there's a 0% chance we lose this game. But I'm going with an emphatic scoreline, which hopefully will come to fruition. I feel like I always predict low, then we end up scoring more. So I'm going with a 4-0 Barcelona prediction as my result for this match. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think the scoreline will be. So that's a match preview for Levante versus Barcelona in La Liga. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, in the comments down below as well, let me know your thoughts on everything we did discuss. The main thing on our first video, of course, is your thoughts on what the score line will be and also on the lineups. Firstly, would I pick my lineup or Flick's lineup? What do you think Flick will go with? Would you go with? You're the manager. Let me know all your thoughts down below. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. Still no live watch along, still on vacation. I probably won't do one until I would say after the Vallecano game. I'm probably doing my first live watch along of the season. The game against Valencia, September 14th, Camp Nou. That's what I'm eyeing. Still on vacation, so no live stream, but I will 1000% see you tomorrow for the match review. Take care and Forza Barca. Yeah.